Hey, hey, how is it everybody doing? Hey, 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 how are you doing today? We are here to talk about nutrition. And really, what that means is we're really here to talk about what are some tips for better gut health so that we can look good and feel good. Our bottom line always, right? So we can live our best life. And first, I'll say remember the 80-20 rule. So, um, all change is hard and it's really easy to just revert back to what we've always done. But I want you to remember your why. Why are you doing this? And it's for your health, it's for longevity, it's so you feel good, it's so you can do more, whatever more is for you, um, so you can move forward and not have to deal with some of these issues that we've dealt with, having chronic, you know, tummy tummy issues or bathroom issues and some of that. Who knew that that's not really normal, even though that majority of us have experienced it. Anyway, so we want to exclude processed foods from our life when we can. 80-20 rule, let's live it up. But if you can, no boxed foods, no packaged foods, make it from scratch, or find a way that you can change out ingredients to help yourself out. But the more you can eliminate the processed food, the better off you will, because that plays havoc and feeds some of our bad bacteria that we heard about yesterday. We want to reduce stressors in your life. We want you to get 6 to 7 hours of quality sleep every night. We want to minimize exposure to chemicals, and we want to eat 30 different fruits and vegetables every week. Remember, that's what eating the rainbow is all about. We want to just diversify because, again, yesterday Vic talked about this, and that feeding the different bacteria responds differently because different bacteria pick up on that nutrient that you're feeding it. And we need it all. So diversify, just like we do in finances, diversify for your gut health as well. And basically, your gut relies on the right balance of different bacteria to digest. And that's why it's important to mix it up a little and diversify and eat whole foods and and move forward with that so you can just digest your foods and prevent infection or unwanted bacteria to increase and get out of balance so that that battle in your stomach reduces. We want the inflammation to go away, and also gut health also affects your mental health, your weight, your blood sugar, and your liver. And so I want to talk a little bit about foods. And so knowing what foods to eat and in what proportions is really crucial for health, because I know for myself, and I've seen others too, we eat healthy and we think we're eating the right things. But if you don't eat them in the right proportions, then we're not doing ourselves any favor. We want to eat vegetables. We want to eat an abundant and a variety, and the more the better. But there are things like potatoes that we want to limit the consumption on, and not just because they're a nightshade, and not just because autoimmune issues will respond poorly to potatoes or create flare-ups. It's also recommended to limit your consumption of potatoes because they're full of rapidly digesting starch. And what that does is that it's like a roller coaster effect on your blood sugar, as the and just similar to refined grains and sweets. So you want to limit your potato intake because it from a cellular level, it responds differently than other vegetables. So, so let's see. We all know that overeating in the long term leads to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and other chronic disorders. So we want to kind of focus on what do we need to do for balance. So fruits, choose and eat the rainbow of fruits every day. Whole grains, choose whole grains such as oatmeal, whole bread, brown rice, refined grains, um, so that you're getting those nutritious things. What did I want to say about refined grades? Refined grade really acts like sugar in the body. So we want to limit our refined grades. Eating too much refined grains raises the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. So we also want to do healthy proteins like fish and poultry and beans and nuts. They all contain healthful nutrients. We want to limit the red meat. We want to avoid processed meats. And we even want to keep a small amount of eating those in small quantities. And excuse me, so that we're not eating them on a regular basis. Red meat is hard to process. In going back to our ancestry, way back to caveman days, remember red meat is only eaten on a limited basis when they had game during the fall season. So that's that. Healthy oils like olive oil, canola oil, and other plant oils in cooking on salads and table, since healthy fats reduce harmful cholesterol and they're good for the heart. So you also want to limit butter and avoid the trans fats. Water, 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 water. We want to drink half your weight in water, in ounces of water. This will help hydrate all of the cells in our body. And we don't want our cells dehydrated. In fact, sometimes we don't even know that we're hydrated. And statistics say that all of us are at least 1% dehydrated, and which is just phenomenal to me that that could be true, but that's what the science says. You want to limit your milk and dairy to 1 to 2 servings per day. And juice, maybe a small glass per day, and avoid the sugary drinks. But other drinks besides water to drink would be tea or coffee with little to no sugar. Let's see. Let's talk about portions. The size and selection suggests relative proportions to the various food groups. So the portion is key to controlling the ability to stay with focus on feeding to help your cells perform and function at their maximum level. So half your plate is going to be vegetables. And of course, the more the diversity and colors on your plate, on half of your plate, will be fueling your whole body. And then a quarter of your plate is going to be protein. An eighth of your plate is going to be grain, and the remaining eighth is going to be healthy fat. So if you can kind of visualize that each meal and kind of divide your plate into that, keeping it simple is key. No calorie counting needed. Just having that as a rule of thumb will really help, because every gut is different, and the more you can balance your gut, the more with the more foods is helpful. Now, at first, that you may have to have some restrictions. If you're like me, I'm still, eliminating the nightshades most of the time. Again, that 20% rule, like those nightshades creep into my meals. But I know it's hard, but you can do it. We all need to focus on getting the most rich foods that we have. The polyphenols are really the basis for what we need the most. That's why they get half the plate. And it's hard to believe that this is rich in vitamins and antioxidants and fruit that can be so wrong for someone with autoimmune. But there are some fruits and vegetables that autoimmune folks can't take in. So just know that just because something is good for the body, remember, some of us have limitations. And so we'll get to that later. I'll do a thing on that some other time. But just know, if something reacts in your system, you might want to hold off for it for a while before introducing it back into your thing. And on that, have a great day. I hope this was helpful. And give me a comment in the chat on what are the foods that you love the most, and what are the foods that you struggle with not eat or not to eat. All right. Bye for now, and have a great evening. Enjoy